The following is a presentation of the Arizona Cardinals Broadcast Network.
Run it, run it, run it. Let's go. Get out, let's go. Here we go, work at it. Work your technique, do little things right. That's it, all right, roll it.
This is Cardinals Game Plan, presented by Dignity Health. Your hosts, Paul Calvisi and Ron Wolfley, with the head coach, Kliff Kingsbury.
All right, as Coach Belichick has now made famous, we're on to Cincinnati, right? Literally here. In fact, Coach Kliff Kingsbury, Wolf, you guys have something in common. You both once played for Coach Belichick.
Yeah, and on that note, Paul, we're on to Cincinnati.
That's right, okay. All right, stories later. This game against Seattle, just big picture, what was the story of this game to you?
Early, got away from us. You know, I think we missed a field goal early. They make theirs, turn around, and we throw a pick six on the ensuing possession. We're down 10 and just weren't able to recover from that. I thought our guys played hard, but we didn't execute at a high enough level.
What about all three phases, Coach? Offensively, defensively, in special teams as well. I mean, did they hold up?
Yeah, I think at times we had our moments, but that's a very good football team, and we got the ball out a few times, didn't take it away. Special teams wise, I thought it was kind of a draw, nothing, you know, major to talk about. And then offensively, had our moments, moved the ball well at times, but once again, weren't able to finish in the red zone.
All right, good first drive, obviously, 11 plays, 3 first downs. David Johnson, Chase Edmonds, 3 touches each. It ends without points, the missed field goal, but those opening drives have been effective. Those are scripted from the get-go?
Yeah, all the plays are scripted, you know. I mean, we take a lot of pride in what we're getting ourselves into, and first couple weeks we didn't execute at a high level, called, you know, probably not the best plays, and I think we're getting more of a rhythm of who we are as an offense and what we like to execute.
You know, Coach, the use of Chase Edmonds, of course, and David Johnson, was that something by design or just how the game unfolded?
It is. We felt like we needed to get Chase more touches and find a way to get him in the football game. He's a guy who's been solid since we got here and continues to impress.
Right, big turning point, second possession, 2nd and 5, and the screen pass to the right, Jadeveon Clowney right there in the passing lane. So how much of that was Clowney? How much of that was on Kyler or the Cardinals offense?
Yeah, it was a little bit of everything. I think we could have executed at a higher level, spacing and things of that nature. And then you got to give a lot of credit to Clowney. I mean, he's a freak athlete, made a tremendous play, but we got to avoid that. What
is the coaching point to Kyler on that, from a quarterback's perspective, Kliff?
Yeah, if it's cloudy and you don't feel great about it, just burn it. We'll play the next play. I think it was a situation where we thought we had something, spacing didn't work out, and he made a great play. But if you have any doubt, throw it at the ground. We'll play the next play.
All right, here's the play we're going to break down. Let's go to the screen. Next possession, 8th play of the drive. You get into field goal range after David Johnson takes the pass, 31 yards here.
This was a screen pass that we had set up. We thought 2nd and long we could get some coverage, have them be soft, and our guys executed it perfectly. You know, thought we had a chance to score here, but you got to give their defense credit. The guy comes over and makes a nice play.
Coach, how has David Johnson picked up this offense? Are you happy with how he's picked it up? Have the mental errors come down at all?
I am. I think he gets more comfortable each week, and so does everybody else in the offense. After a month of really the first time executing our offense, I think we've improved, you know, game by game, and we just got to see that continue.
All right, so a field goal there. Seattle takes a 17-3 lead after they had a 32-yard play, a 28-yard pass play, and then the touchdown pass on 2nd and goal from the 9 to the tight end, Will Dissly. Is there a constant or a common thread in the tight end in the red zone against the Cardinals defense?
I think as it stands now, there is. I mean, we've gone against really good quarterbacks and really good tight ends, and they continue to make plays, and we're going to continue to try and find ways to negate that.
Coach, how much does a tight end success have to do with the other team being able to run the ball using play action?
No question. That comes into play. A team like Seattle, heavy in the run game, able to naked boots, pop passes, and they really created some good space for him.
You mentioned getting down. It was 20-3 at the half. Zane missed another field goal. He had a new holder in Ryan Winslow. Did you talk to him after the game? Did you get a sense as to what might have happened?
Zane, you know, he's a competitor and a class act, and he obviously took it all on himself. But anytime there's any sort of change, I mean, that's such an exact science for those guys that they've been with one guy for a couple years. And so you'd like to see us make them, but we have a lot of faith in Zane and know he'll get back on track.
How are you happy with the special teams at this point of the season right now? Overall, what would you give them as a grade?
Yeah, I'm not big into grades, but I think it's another group that is improving each week. Our specialists are very talented. Not having Andy obviously hurt us, and I think it's a good core group. Coach Rogers has done a great job developing a culture there, and they've made some big plays for us.
All right, Cardinals cut the lead 20-10 in 8-play, 80-yard drive. Kyler Murray, his first career touchdown run. And you mentioned after the game, that was by design, a called run.
It was a quarterback draw, and once again, they kind of spread out. He had an option if he could, take a quick pass, he could throw it. He saw the lane and hit it, and it was a big play for us.
Coach, was it my imagination, or did David Johnson lead up through the hole, not once, but twice?
He did.
On a draw.
Yeah, he did. He was the lead blocker. We wanted it to appear to be a drop back pass where he's about to run an option route, and then he just keeps going and did a nice job.
And he did it for Chase Edmonds as well, right?
He did. We had another draw play, same type of action, and he went out and got a big block.
Russell Wilson has the best winning percentage in NFL history coming off a loss, and we saw it. That drive Seattle came out with after that, 15 plays, more than 8 minutes off the clock. You had talked the previous week about complementary football. Is that what you mean, moments like that?
No doubt. We got to rise up together, and we weren't able to do that. Once again, give them credit. That was a big-time drive. We had some unfortunate penalties that, could have got us off the field at times, and we let it go. But he made big throws and protected the football all night, and that's why he's one of the best in the business.
Seattle had 3 double-digit drives in this game. What was the common denominator in those drives?
Yeah, I think the quarterback, when you look at it, I mean, his ability to extend plays and make plays, we had some good pressure on him, had him under duress at times, but he just finds a way.
How much of this process is getting Kyler that experience that Russell Wilson has, so it just assists in his decision-making?
No question. Every rep for Kyler is going to be huge. You're investing in him and his development. And when you look back at Russell's early years and how he played the game, I think you see a lot of similarities, and maybe not getting rid of the ball on time and doing different things, which is learned. And this game moves really fast, and we're getting adjusted to it.
When we come back, a deep dive into the good and bad from the Seahawks matchup on Cardinals Game Plan. Cardinals Game Plan is brought to you by Dignity Health, hello human kindness, and by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
It's remarkable. You look at the final stats from this game against Seattle, so many similarities. First down, third down, total yards almost identical. Plays were identical, 59 each. Rushing yards identical, 115 apiece. Even the flags were the same. So ultimately, to you, what was the difference on the scoreboard?
When you look at it, the pick six is huge, and then 2 scoring opportunities where we don't get points. That's a big swing right there, and we weren't able to overcome.
Coach, in this game, I noticed that you used a lot less 10 personnel. 1 back, no tight ends, 4 wide receivers. You used 11 personnel and 12 personnel a lot. Are we going to see more and more of this?
Yeah, I think like we talked about, the first 3 weeks, we got behind big and we're chasing late in the fourth quarter. And here, we kept the game manageable and tried to stay in what we want to be. We'll have 10 personnel. It's going to be a weapon for us, but it's just kind of how the game played out.
Tyler mentioned after the game, Seattle did something similar to Carolina, played deep coverages, soft coverages, tried to keep everything underneath. Is that the approach you expect to see every week now, or is that just Carolina and Seattle's identity?
You look at what Seattle did the previous week, it was a lot of too high, and Carolina, that's what they base out of, and they have good fronts, and they want to get home that way and keep it in front. And I thought for the most part, Kyler progressed as far as taking his checkdowns and eliminating negative plays.
Coach, it was really cool to see Andy Isabella on the jet sweep, right? Actually a successful play. He ran it very, very well. Where does he need to get better to get more reps?
We've moved Andy around different positions, and just him finding a comfort level. We've had him inside, outside, a little of both, and I think when we can just get him in one spot, he's really going to take off.
Yeah, that hit for 16 yards, called back because of the flag, but 115 yards rushing overall. Were you happy with that balance in your offense?
We want to be as balanced as we can, but we're going to do whatever it takes to win the game and try to score points, and those guys did a good job running the football, and hopefully that continues.
Did 12 personnel, the fact that you had 1 back, 2 tight ends, did that help you from a running game perspective?
I think just being more multiple is always good. We want to stay on schedule. We don't want to be in 10 personnel every snap, and so we got to be able to stay ahead of schedule in the game and not fall behind.
Cardinals got Russell Wilson 4 times, sacked him 4 times. T-Sizzle, sack and a half. He had 2 tackles for loss. He was all over the stat sheet. Maybe a thought on a guy in his 17th season right now.
He's phenomenal to watch every day. His approach to the game, the way he studies it, the way he has a passion for it, it's inspiring for coaches and players, and what a great talent. You know, he's creeping up on some pretty insane names when you're looking on that sack list, and so hopefully he can get some of those guys.
Yeah, certainly a Hall of Famer right there. What about your rush defense right now? Are you happy with the effort that you're getting inside that box?
I like the effort. There's obviously things we got to clean up, and we've had some moving parts with some interior guys going in and out of the lineup, which hasn't helped. But I think it's for the most part a young group inside, and those guys will continue to get better.
How about going against this Bengals offense now? They lost 27-3 on Monday night. Steelers got him 8 times, 8 sacks of Andy Dalton, but you're going against a veteran quarterback.
He's been a great player. He's been a Pro Bowler in this league, and they've been creative on offense. The last couple games, the score I don't think has been indicative of how close it was, and so we know we're going to have our hands full going down there.
How about the Bengals defense? What do you know about Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I think Vance had worked with him before, and I think they stem from kind of the same tree, and so talked with him a little bit, but those guys are playing hard. They have some really talented rush guys, some great guys in the secondary, so we'll have a great challenge.
How much more attention is Larry getting these last 2 games from defenses versus maybe the first 2 games when he really broke out with some big numbers?
Yeah, we got to get him the ball more. We know that, but teams are definitely more aware of where he's at, and I think that they're understanding how we're going to try to use him. And but we're going to lean on Larry all season. He's a big-time talent. Anytime you give him the ball, something positive happens.
Kliff, would you characterize the Bengals defense as a high-pressure defense, or do you think they're going to back off, play more coverage?
They haven't been high pressure, but you never know in this league. Week to week, guys kind of get the flavor of the week, and I'd expect to see a heavy dose of man, heavy dose of zone, and really mix it up.
No.
More with Coach Kingsbury later in the show.
Push it,
Up
push it.
next, A.Q. Shipley is mic'd up
Go.
on Cardinals Game Plan. Welcome back to Cardinals Game Plan. The Cardinals' anchor to the offensive line, veteran center A.Q. Shipley, was mic'd up on Sunday. Wired, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers.
I remember no worry, holding a pack of lies.
The dreaded Seahawks and their fans have invaded State Farm Stadium.
What's up, brother? How you been, man?
Good to see you.
You too, man.
8 years, it's unbelievable, man.
Crazy, right? It's always a fun one, right? Have you done one of these before?
Not this one, no.
Cardinals,
Yeah,
Seattle?
yeah.
It's a good one.
Get the boys together and rolling today.
Love you, brother. Let's go. Have a day, huh? Let's go, Ben. Let's go. I live for these 2 games every year. Go time.
What's up, Cap?
Let's go, baby.
Snow, man.
Light, man.
What do you got today?
They got Clowney and Ansah. Where are you going, up there?
Please welcome today's Cardinals honorary captain and future Ring of Honor member, Carson Palmer.
I feel so weird being out here with you, man.
I miss it, brother. Good luck, Bobby. Good to see you, man.
Hi, y'all, go to work.
Snap to Murray. They hand it off to Edmonds on a jet sweep near side. He's crossing the 30-yard line and up with the 32, so they pick up about 7 yards.
Push it, push it. Mike's out there, Mike's out there. Out there, you guys are man. Ram it, ram it. Go.
Murray takes the snap. It's a draw to Edmonds up the middle inside the 35 to the 30 and spun down there. The Cardinals with a nice opening drive.
Hey, middle.
Out of the gun is Murray. Fires right side, and it's incomplete, and so it's 4th down. Ryan Winslow, remember, is the punter today. He's also the holder as Zane Gonzalez comes on for a field goal try. Snap, the spot from Winslow is good. The kick is on the way, and it is no good. Wide to the right.
He missed it.
Gonzalez's first miss of the year.
Ran the ball very well. We got to stay on schedule with that.
Mike's 5-4. Hey, Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
Shotgun snap, Murray backs to throw and fires over the middle high, but caught by Johnson in Seattle territory. 40, straight ahead, 30, 25, and down to the 20-yard line.
We're serious, fellas. Hey, you're rolling up and down the field. We got to keep running the football.
Yeah.
Snap to Murray. It's a draw. Running up the middle of his head, then he's inside the 35 and gets all the way to the 31.
Hey, we go get 7 here. Put a drive together, huh, fellas? Mike's 50, middle. Yeah. Mike's 50.
Second and 4 on the 9. Back to pass goes Murray. It's a quarterback draw straight ahead to the 5, and Murray is into the end zone for the touchdown. The Cardinals score their first touchdown of the day. The Seahawks win it 27-10.
Stay healthy, big dog. See you in a couple weeks, all right? All right.
Next on Cardinals Game Plan, Paul and Wolf with a deep dive into the similarities between Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. Welcome back to Cardinals Game Plan. Now, Paul Calvisi and Ron Wolfley break down Kyler Murray's game and look forward to the matchup against the Bengals.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Paul Calvisi, Ron Wolfley. It is time for the Spotlight on the Opponent, brought to you by the Phillips Law Group. And we talked about the Seattle game with Coach Kliff Kingsbury. How many of the stats were almost identical, Wolf? What was the difference to you ultimately on the scoreboard?
You know what, Paulie? It was the red zone, and it was Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, think about it. The red zone, the fact that the Seattle Seahawks were 2 of 4. As a matter of fact, the Arizona Cardinals 1 of 3. You just have to maximize those opportunities. How many times do you get into the other team's red zone and then score a touchdown? That's so critical in the National Football League. That was the number one thing. Number two, I would have to say Jadeveon Clowney, of course, in his pick 6. That was the difference really in the game. I felt like that was a big moment in the game early on as well. After the Cardinals had moved down the field, you know, they finally got on the board, kicked the field goal right there, and you know, I just thought that was a momentum swing that really hurt the Arizona Cardinals. What about you, Paulie, when you look at it?
To me, Kyler Murray is still learning the speed, not necessarily the entire game in the NFL, but of defensive linemen and edge rushers. He's still learning how capable and athletic those guys are and what he can and cannot get away with, both on that pass, trying to escape the pocket. I saw that game, and I saw a young Russell Wilson. Wolf, we called his very first game right here in Arizona. And there's a lot of similarities. You just can't replace the experience that comes with 116 straight starts that Russell Wilson has. As Kyler gets that experience, he's going to be that much better just in the decision-making.
Paulie, that just totally is what separates one quarterback from the next. It really is. I mean, the similarities, the physicality is there. Of course, when you look at Russell Wilson, you look at Kyler Murray, there's no doubt about that, Paul. A franchise quarterback, what separates one from the other is his brain and what his brain is telling him. Those are the decisions that you're talking about.
At Cincinnati, what's most important to you? What do the Cardinals have to put atop the coaching grease board as number one?
Okay, right now they've got to be able to shut down the ability of the Bengals to run the ball and make Andy Dalton one-dimensional. I mean, they're number 32 in rushing yards per game, number 32 in rushing yards per play. The Cincinnati Bengals. You put those two things together, you are not running the ball well at all. Now all of a sudden Andy Dalton becomes one-dimensional, and that brings in T. Sizzle and Chandler Jones coming off the edge. They have to, above all else, they have to shut down the Bengals' ability to run the ball at all and put Andy Dalton in a one-dimensional situation.
Because we heard Kliff Kingsbury, you take a lead, fast start, you force them to throw, and then we saw what happened to Cincinnati on Monday night against the Steelers. They gave up 8 sacks, a dozen quarterback hits, and that's where you get after Cincinnati. And you bring down Andy Dalton, and the Bengals go with them.
Coach Kingsbury's final thoughts on the matchup with the Bengals when we return. Cardinals Game Plan has been brought to you by Dignity Health, Hello Human Kindness, and by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
All right, Larry Fitzgerald made history, as we know, number 2 all-time in receptions. And on the history-making catch, did he keep the football? He spotted the football, Wolf. We all saw it right there.
And then he ran out into the slot, Paul.
I mean, Jerry Rice was even there doing a real-time account for NFL Films. I mean, history was made, and Larry's just going to the next play, Coach.
That epitomizes who he is as a player. He could care less about records and accolades. He wants to win the game and help his teammates. And it's inspiring to watch each and every day who he is as a person and a player, and excited to see him get that record.
Coach, how are you doing? I mean, it's a tough situation. 0-3-1, right? How are you holding up in this?
I'm good. You know, I appreciate the challenge of it all, and it's a process, and I'm big on consistency each and every day. And there has been progress on the tape when you watch it, and I like where we're heading, and we just got to find a way to get one of these done.
I had a chance to talk to Jerry Rice real quick. He mentioned Bill Walsh, his first year, started 0-7. Think about that when you're getting a new offense installed, so forth. So when you go to Cincinnati, second road game, what's going to be most important on Sunday?
I think getting off to a fast start. You look last week when you're down 10-0 and you're chasing the whole time. We can't allow that to happen again, particularly on the road. We know they're going to be going hard for their first win, just like we are.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.